The eyes of the nation are on Pennsylvania tonight. 4 states, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, too close to call, and it could all come down to us. The story coming up next.
Plus, record coronavirus cases in Erie have caused Erie school officials to move classes online next week. We're breaking down what you need to know.
With election coverage you can count on, this is Erie News Now.
Good evening, I'm Mike Ruzzi.
And I'm Eva Mastromattio. Thanks for being here with us on Erie News Now at 5.
And we begin tonight in Erie County, where the presidential race has changed significantly.
And as we first told you last night, Erie County is now leaning Democratic in the race for president. At last word, the final count now underway has former Vice President Biden now ahead of President Trump by more than 1,400 votes. Senior reporter Paul Wagner, he's been at the courthouse all day long as election workers continue to count ballots.
And Paul, the numbers have shifted dramatically compared to what we saw on election night.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Mike and Eva. President Trump had a 24,000 vote lead when the polls closed Tuesday night. The mail-in voting has been heavily Democratic. Today, the final vote is focused on about 2,500 provisional, overseas, and military ballots.
All right, thanks, Paul. And the counting of mail-in ballots has concluded in Crawford County, but more work must be done.
Yeah, there are more than 1,000 other ballots that must be examined before they can be certified. Our John Last has been monitoring the count there. He's joining us live from the Crawford County Courthouse.
John, what is left to be done?
Well, let me tell you, Mike and Eva, we still have provisional ballots, emergency ballots, military and overseas ballots, and ballots that have been rejected by the counting scanner. But let's talk provisional ballots. There's 766 of those. They were filled out by voters whose eligibility is in question for a number of reasons.
All right, John, the eyes of the nation are on Pennsylvania as the state's votes continue to be just too close to call.
Yeah, for another night, the presidential election hinging on Pennsylvania. Capitol reporter Cody Carlson joining us live from Harrisburg. So where does it stand right now across the state on ballots?
Well, Mike, Eva, as of earlier this afternoon, a little more than 100,000 mail-in ballots remain uncounted in Pennsylvania. And we know at least 36,000 of those are in Allegheny County, and those are now in the process of being counted. The remaining uncounted ballots are still mostly in the Philadelphia region.
And as votes are tallied, the nation waits and wonders which candidate will get 270 electoral votes, and when will we know?
Our Ethan Kibbe is joining us from our StoryTeller. Ethan, as these results trickle in some states change hands in the process, what is the latest right now that you're seeing?
Mike and Eva, good evening. What we're seeing right now is a general shift toward blue for some states. The question is, will that shift be enough to flip them, or will they just go from red to a nice light shade of pink? Let's take you through here our 4 remaining states. We've got Nevada. Right now, Joe Biden holds a lead there, and in fact, as more mail-in ballots are counted, that lead is actually expanding, but slowly, and there's still only about 75–80% of the vote in. We're not going to know on Nevada until at least this weekend, according to officials there.
All right, thanks, Ethan. And we're also following some legal challenges that came up today regarding the 2020 election.
Yeah, our Isaac Petcash is joining us live from our alert desk tonight to explain what we need to know. Isaac, what can you tell us at this moment?
Mike and Eva, we can certainly say a lot, but we're going to defer to Jeff Bloodworth from Gannett University for this one. Jeff, some lawsuits in Pennsylvania, the GOP right now wanting to separate the mail-in ballots from the absentee ballots. Give us an idea of what we need to know when it comes to lawsuits in Pennsylvania.
This has already been litigated through the courts. I mean, the courts in advance have already ruled that, that these were legitimate ballots. I've seen no indication of any legal expert that's out there that has any sort of inkling that this has a significant chance of being accepted by the courts and these ballots being disqualified.
And we want moment to update you on the latest with the COVID-19 coronavirus.
Erie County reporting a record 59 new cases of the virus today. Positive cases. The county also reporting an additional COVID-related death. And county officials tell us there are now 366 active cases in Erie County. The state reporting 19 new cases in Crawford, 1 in Warren. And for the second day in a row, Pennsylvania reporting a record number of cases this Friday with more than 3,300 new ones. Pennsylvania also reporting, sadly, 38 additional COVID-related deaths.
And new tonight, Erie Public Schools have decided to completely transition over to remote learning.
Yeah, the decision going into effect on Monday. It will impact more than 12,000 students and their families. Our Haley Potter joins us live from our newsroom with more on that. Haley, what more do we know right now about this transition starting Monday?
Mike and Eva, this comes just 2 days after the county announced significant community spread right here in Erie County. And right now, what we know is that the students will be transitioning to 100% remote learning starting on Monday. This will last a week, and it'll go until a week from today, which is November 13th.
Impact, Haley, thanks. Still to come tonight, the playoff shift to the state level for one local football team. And ahead at 5:30, Erie Sports Now, John Leidig bringing us a preview.
And the Trump campaign says it is still waiting for final results in several key states. We're live at the White House after Joe's full forecast. Waiting for final results in Pennsylvania and other states.
Yeah, we've been following this closely, and right now there is no sign that the President Trump, will concede. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler is joining us live from the White House grounds tonight.
So Matt, what's the atmosphere like at the White House right now?
Mike, Eva, it is pretty intense right now as we wait some of those results. Meanwhile, inside and in Virginia as well, at Trump campaign headquarters, the legal team fighting on tonight. They are focusing on some of these, what they're calling basically voter fraud in some of these key states. Let's get you to it.
With election coverage you can count on, this is Erie News Now.
After a long campaign season, the 2020 election is underway across the nation, and tonight we have live team coverage that you can count on. We have our team spread across the region giving you updates both on air and online. From voting issues to key races, we have you covered tonight. And for the first time ever, we're providing continuous coverage of the night on Erie News Now Plus. And we continue to follow developing election news out of Crawford County. We received several calls to our newsroom about issues at polling places. Brianna Andrews is live at First Presbyterian Church in Meadville. And Brianna, what is the latest there?
Hey, Mike, well, we know that Crawford County had a big voter turnout. County officials say there was a lot of first-time voters and a lot of people coming out really early in the morning. So, of course, there was a bit of things that went a little bit haywire. Now,
all right, thanks, Brianna. Well, that's the latest from the county officials. We sent Haley Potter to a polling location to get the feel there. She has a report now from Crawford County.
Hi, Mike. Everything is going pretty smooth here in Crawford County this afternoon. Earlier today, I was at the Vernon Municipal Building where there were some difficulties earlier this morning with a paper jam, but all of those ballots were counted and everything went smoothly for the rest of the day. And now I'm in Hayfield Township at a municipal building here, and the line is very long. I just want to give you a little walkthrough. The line has been 2.5 to 3 hours long all day today.
All right, thanks, Haley. Meantime, in Erie County, poll workers have been at work since early this morning, making sure the process goes smoothly. Our Eva Mastromattio is at the Erie County Board of Elections to get the very latest. Eva.
Hi there, Mike. Right across from the Erie County Board of Elections office is the pre-canvassing room, and that's where I'm at right now, where a bunch of volunteers are here, and they are going through the mail-in ballots. Over 11,000 have already been opened here in Erie County. We're going to bring in the Erie County Executive, Kathy Dahlkemper, right now. Thank you so much for taking some time out to join us, because we know that safety has been one of the things that you've maintained for voters, as far as telling voters it is safe to go to the polls today. A lot of prep work done at polling locations.
A lot of prep work, and it's obviously paid off, that prep work.
All right, thanks, Eva. The polls in Pennsylvania will come to a close now in less than 3 hours. It's already an historic election with the number of registered Pennsylvania voters and voters casting their ballots by mail. Our Capitol reporter, Cody Carlson, joins us now live from Harrisburg with an election update. Cody.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. As of this morning, more than 2.5 million Pennsylvanians have filled out and returned their mail-in ballots. That's about 81% of the more than 3 million Pennsylvanians that were approved to vote by mail this year.
All right, thanks, Cody. And once the polls close across the nation, the votes will be tallied and reported back to us. Ethan Kibbe joins us now at the StoryTeller to break down the path to victory for the presidential candidates. Ethan.
Mike, good evening. Let's jump right into this. Behind me here on the StoryTeller is a map of the United States. States that we think are going to go Republican tonight are in red. Those that we think are going Democratic are in blue. A few of these could change, but we're fairly confident in these. Texas may be on the fence, but we think red.
Ethan, and here in Erie County, 63% of registered voters turned out in the last presidential election in 2016. This year, turnout appears to be very strong, even with about 50,000 people voting early with mail-in ballots. Senior reporter Paul Wagner is live at Erie High School, home of 2 polling places for the city's 6th ward. Paul, what does it look like there?
Well, Mike, as you said, the 4th and 5th precincts of the 6th ward are here, and it's been steady all day long. You know, despite the paper ballots, a lot of voters have been coming in. It started early this morning. It has been steady. About 1/3 of the registered voters here in these 2 districts have been voting, and we want to talk with the clerk of elections, the judge of elections, I should say, for one of these 2 districts, Mary Steck. And Mary, were there times early in the morning that it was busier than now, or has it been steady pretty much all day?
No, it was really busy in the morning, and then we had like a bunch of people come in at lunchtime, and now it's kind of just pretty steady.
All right, thanks, Paul. And still to come this evening, it's been one of the most intense local elections in recent history. Ahead at 5:30, we're bringing you up to speed in a local race for state senate. And as the nation counts ballots, the focus turns to Washington, D.C. A live report after John's forecast are ahead on Erie News Now at 5. The presidential race is front and center here in the United States and around the world tonight. All eyes on the White House and some key swing states as voters cast their ballots. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knaler is live at the White House with details on how both campaigns are preparing for tonight. Good evening, Matt.
Hey, Mike, good evening. Yeah, right here at the White House tonight, behind us, President Trump, Vice President Mike Pence. They will be watching those results come in here tonight together. Meanwhile, a little north of here in Wilmington, Delaware, we're expecting former Vice President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be watching those results together there as well.
Welcome to Erie News Now at 6.
Good evening, I'm Mike Ruzzi.
And I'm Eva Mastrovadio. Thanks for being here with us on Erie News Now at 6.
So the polls are closed and ballots across the nation continue to be counted.
Yeah, tonight we have live team coverage. It is election coverage you can count on.
The eyes of the nation are on Pennsylvania and the focus in Pennsylvania on the key battleground counties like Erie.
We are spread across the region as those ballots again continue to be counted. And we're also gathering live data. Right at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to see it there. We'll be updating it constantly as well on our website.
And as mail-in ballots continue to be counted, we're hearing that the Trump campaign is suing to stop the state of Pennsylvania from continuing to count votes.
Our Cody Carlson is joining us live from Erie's only Harrisburg bureau. Cody, he continues to, of course, gather all the latest updates. So what is this newly reported data?
Yeah, Mike, Eva, good evening. The Trump camp is accusing Pennsylvania Democrat election officials of hiding the ballot counting and processing from Republican poll watchers. The Trump campaign is also asking the United States Supreme Court to step in and issue a ruling on the state Supreme Court's decision to allow mail-in ballots received by Friday at 5 p.m.
All right, Cody, and breaking now, the Associated Press has called Michigan for former Vice President Joe Biden. We'll put this into context in about 2 minutes as we look at the nation's results. And Erie County is continuing to count mail-in ballots as well.
Yeah, that's right. They did so last night. And at last word, Donald Trump is leading Erie County. Our Lisa Adams has been keeping track, though, on the counting process. She's joining us live with a complete update there from the Erie County Board of Elections. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Eva. We've moved over to what I was referring to earlier as the fish bowl. This is the spot. It's all glassed in. That's why they call it the fish bowl. And this is where they bring in those mailed-in ballots after they've been taken out of the privacy envelope.
And there were several issues reported to us yesterday at polling places in Crawford County right on Election Day.
So our Brianna Andrews went back to Crawford County. She's there tonight with a closer look at the counting process. What have you learned so far this half hour, Brianna?
Hey, Eva and Mike, here's what we know right now. There's still several mail-in ballots that need to be prepared to get scanned. The chairman and commissioner of the Crawford County Election Board confirms they have only prepared 10 precincts, ballots for 10 precincts, which means there's still a lot of work to do, and it's a bit of a time-consuming process. But the good news, though, the chairman also confirms that the scanning process is a lot quicker. Once they get through these ballots, they can easily and quickly scan everything so that the votes can be counted.
And the Electoral College map is starting to shape up, but some states are still too close to call, perhaps none more so than Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we are right in the heart of things for sure. Our Ethan Kibbe is joining us live from our StoryTeller. Ethan, you have a look at the national electoral picture and the path to victory for each of the candidates.
Mike and Eva, let's get right to it here as we look at the path to victory for President Donald Trump. This is quite simple. The path to victory is win all 4 of these states. These are our 4 swing states that we still don't have official results in. We're looking at Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Let's break down the data in these states right now. Here in Georgia and in North Carolina, we have roughly 95% of the vote in both of them, and it's President Trump by 1. That's how close it is there. Out here in Nevada, it's Joe Biden by 1 with 75% of the vote in, and we're still waiting on votes from some swing counties like Washoe County in Nevada. That could swing back for Donald Trump. Maybe the lead expands for Joe Biden. We don't know, and Nevada officials have told us we won't know until at least 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when they plan to release more data. So let's narrow in now on Pennsylvania, our state, the Keystone State. And we go to our state view here, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger and move it over for you on our screen. There we go. Here's what we're looking at across the state right now. You see that sea of red through the center of the state. The reason for that being that that's where President Trump's supporters are. You see blue here in your urban pockets. This is Allegheny County of Pittsburgh. Here's Philadelphia County and what we call the collar counties around Philadelphia. These are the ones you want to keep an eye on, as well as Erie County up here. The reason for that being, these are where a lot of your votes are in these collar counties. This is Chester County. It went hard for Hillary Clinton 4 years ago, 83% of the vote in there. And as you can see, Joe Biden stretching the lead there, 147,000 for him, 117,000 for the president.
All right, thanks, Ethan. We are getting new results tonight in the presidential race.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes going on over the past hour. And so for the latest, we head right to the grounds of the White House, where our Washington correspondent, Matt Nadler is.
And Matt, what do we know right now?
Mike, Eva, good evening. Well, this is really a developing situation here at the White House on the campaign trail and in Delaware as well with the Biden campaign, because from what we understand right now, again, Joe Biden is just close enough to those 270 electoral votes needed. As we just talked about here a few minutes ago, Michigan called here by the Associated Press and some other outlets now for Joe Biden. Could put him around 264 electoral votes or so. So Nevada, a big state to watch tonight as well.
Still to come this evening, we are moments away from an update at the state capitol in Pennsylvania. We will have a live report coming up after Joe Curtis's First Warning Weather forecast. Stay with us.
This is First Warning Weather with Joe Curtis.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in once again today. Nice warm day. Our high today, 71 degrees. And as we look ahead towards Veterans Day, which is next Wednesday, that's our next chance of rain.
All right, Joe, breaking now. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf and his administration holding a news conference on voting in Pennsylvania.
And we are going live to Harrisburg, where the governor is speaking at this moment.
Part of the election process, but they have really worked hard in this one, and the eyes of the world are on Pennsylvania, so that's especially important. But this election is a reminder that the most important thing we all do is protect our democracy, and that is to protect our democracy is to make sure that we have an accurate and full count.
Is it fair to say you both expect, legally and otherwise, Pennsylvania's election system will hold up under scrutiny?
Yes. Yes. Regarding
and that's the latest from Harrisburg. We'll continue to update live, online, and on the air. And that's a report now for tonight.
As always, thanks for watching, but we hope you join Erie's only 7 p.m. newscast for more developing news coming up on WICU 12.
Until then, have a great night.